13 years old.
13 years old. He has as many years to his life as John Finkel has top 8s on his resume.
I don't know which one's crazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually do know Samir. I've chatted with him a couple times at local events.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. He's a nice guy. Interestingly, he was always this constructed guy who was not good at limited, and now he says I got married, I have a job, I don't play constructed, I actually just play limited now. So he's made that evolution.
I can support that. I like limited. We've got Dylan on the right-hand side. He's just going to pass turn back. Looks like he's dead-weighted something, and it looks like Samir has
divination.
Yeah. And the Black Cat is on the beatdown path here, and I think we're going to see a sea kite. We are. And is it going to block? That's the question. It's only 1 damage. He might be concerned about a certain card in his hand or something that he doesn't want to give up. I think he's just going to take it, probably. Looks like he did. I see a Bloodline Keeper in Samir's hand, and we see it on the table now. One of the premier cards in the format. It's dominated tournaments since it came out. It's one of my favorite cards, design-wise.
Right. Why the counter on top of Samir's deck? What is he
thinking about? I see a plains down, and then I'm not sure what else though. Does he have an upkeep? Maybe it's just to remind him to use his Bloodline Keeper.
Sure.
Which he can't do now.
Right.
That's a nice trick. Looks like a Manor Skeleton.
Skeleton.
9 sealed players. That is time in the round. Active players.
I would attack. With my Manor Skeleton, I would absolutely attack. Because you can really represent regenerate plus deadweight.
Sure.
And it's just 1 damage, but he's never blocked.
Right.
And an Angel of Flight Alabaster to follow up a Bloodline Keeper?
Blah.
Wow. Samir has a heck of a deck here so far. Let's see if Dylan can counter with something awesome.
Would like a second blue, and he could claustrophobia the Bloodline Keeper. Still doesn't do anything about the Angel of Flight Alabaster.
No. It's one of the few answers in the format to a Bloodline Keeper. Claustrophobia. Are we going to see... What are we going to see? 5
Battleground
black
guys.
mana. Yes. Did he tap a blue? All right, there we go.
Yeah.
And we are going to see a token come down on Samir's side.
Now he actually does have some relevant upkeep with the Angel of Flight Alabaster.
Yeah, that's true. He could have been just being very thorough. He doesn't have a spirit in his yard yet. You think Dylan's nervous?
He doesn't seem nervous.
He didn't. You know, everybody gathers around the feature match area. It's exciting to get a feature match.
Like a little bit of... he's like,
something's coming in.
Path.
Yeah. And we're going to see a Stormbound guy. So he adds to his flying onslaught here. But the 3/3 Stormbound guys right now is going to hold back any of the vampires until Samir is able to transform his Bloodline Keeper. Looks like he's got a vampire token in his hand.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to make any mistakes.
He probably forgot once, and he's decided never to do it again. I've done things like that. Got a lot of swamps. That looks like a Reap the Seagraph.
A card you're not.
I'm not enamored with.
Yeah.
No. Normally, I like a good 2-for-1, but that one just underwhelms.
Just feels like a mediocre 2-for-1 to you.
Yeah, like you're just paying a lot twice for 2 kind of not that amazing things. Samir cannot wait to get that token down. Look at that. It's hovering.
It's like vampire. Don't forget
got
vampire. Got it. Vampire. Spirit. Vampire.
Yeah.
He's like goes to spirit mode before his draw stat.
Yeah. And forgets. The Stormbound Geist is going to come in. Because even if it gets blocked, it's going to have Undying and become a 3/3. And then the next turn it's going to be able to trade off for either the Sea Kite or the Stormbound Geist. Dylan can also just opt to not block here if he wants.
He's got a 3/3 Oh, yeah, Sea Kite's a bird, right?
It's a bird. Sea Kite's a bird. It's a 2/3, so it's a fine block. But now he has to deal with this thing next turn. Otherwise, he's just taking a bunch of damage. And we have a tragic slip here as well. Okay, so
Samir's deck certainly looks awesome.
his deck looks very good. I wonder if he's splashing for anything else besides the Angel. He's going to play a Scarecrow.
Last call for Channel Fireball, sealed death event. This is your last call to register for Channel Fireball, sealed death event.
All right, looks like we're going to have a Corpse Lunge here, and it's going to take out the Bloodline Keeper for 3 if it resolves. And there's going to be a Vampire Maiden response. Samir was one vampire away from being able to transform the Bloodline Keeper into Lord of Lineage in response, but in the nick of time, Dylan was able to kill it. Unfortunately, as is often the case with Bloodline Keeper, Samir generated quite an advantage off it by getting 3 2/2 flyers. Currently unable to attack with anything but the Stormbound Geist and the Angel. I believe that's a Highborn Ghoul on Dylan's side. There's also a potentially relevant Blazing Torch sitting over there kind of innocuously. All right, looks like Samir says, all right,
It's time.
we're going to ship him in there. He doesn't mind losing one of his tokens. Because if he does lose a token, then Dylan takes 11.
Yeah.
So, 2-turn clock here.
Oh, and also, I mean, that's a 1/3 spell. Sea Kite.
True. Good point. I forgot about that. Yep. So even then, and he's just going to finish it off with the
eats a Blazing Torch.
Eats a Blazing Torch. That puts Dylan at 6, and Samir still feels comfortable committing to the board. He's up against blue-black. He's not worried about a sweeper here.
It's time for the obligatory. What if he has Mountain Blast from his side?
Okay.
He doesn't.
All right. What if it was Evolving Wilds with Blast from his side? That would be frustrating.
Oh, there you get a look at Josh Bennett. He got on camera anyway.
Oh.
Sorry, Josh.
Won't be happy about that one. He's diligently typing away there. He's a veteran of the...
Oh, yeah, he goes back to the earliest days of sideboard coverage.
Yeah. He knows what he's doing. All right, so we are equalized here now. There's a lot of haymakers from Samir's side. Bloodline Keeper into Angel of Flight Alabaster is a pretty nice sequence.
So do you know Dylan at all? Is Dylan a local player?
I don't recognize him.
He's funny, pretty composed looking, just kind of...
It just looks like he's deep in
the sneer of a veteran
player.
player.
Is this a young Owen Turtenwald we're looking at? He's still okay. He's working on his sneer.
Yeah, working on his sniff.
We'll figure it out. My experience with Samir, I think he's a very solid player.
He's very solid.
Yeah.
Yep. Very methodical.
Yes, very methodical.
You know, really thinks about the implications of what's happening and what things mean. Yeah.
And you can see, by putting the dice on, and he's very careful. I think
he knows what he doesn't want to have happen.
That's true.
You don't want to forget anything.
Yeah.
He's a very worried player.
Yeah.
He was very. I remember from doing his blog entries back in at Nationals. He was just very nervous and very. I'm not very good at limited. I'm really worried. And, just very fretful, I guess is the word.
Yeah. but it looks like he's found ways to improve his game as a result. Reminders, putting a dice on your deck, those little things that some people are hesitant to do. So
I think
Dylan's looking at his hand here.
It looked like he had a hand with Islands and Jarolf's Messenger.
Oh, okay. Wow, Messenger's a really good card, but
it's big.
Very mana intensive. Card.
It is big. It's bigger than you think it is.
It
you
is.
know?
A 4/3 is huge when it comes back.
Yeah. And as a 3/2, it's.
It's relevant.
Yeah.
Very relevant. I've played against that card in Limited now.
Yeah.
And, I have to say it has much more of an impact than I thought it would when I read it. I just thought it wasn't worth it at triple black. Turn.
It might still not be worth it at triple black. It's hard.
It's really tough
hard
to
to play at triple black.
But man, I have had that thing come down, and it is tough.
Okay, Dylan examines his 6. He's
Dylan
like this.
Says yes, and he's just going to
Players in the 9 cardhouse seal. Pairings for round.
I think that's an Evolving Wilds, and I think we've got a Burden of Guilt. And there's the reminder dice. Don't forget to crack my Evolving Wilds. He's going to go for his splash land, which is a Plains. So that should lead us to believe, and Dylan should probably be thinking that he's got the rest of his mana in his hands. Island go. Let's see if Dylan has a turn 3 play. I see a dead weight in his hand. And he's just going to ship the turn back. And there's the Bloodline Keeper right on time off the top. And we're going to have a Divination.
Please come to the registration desk.
I love when you offer up the divination like that. Do you want to counter this? Please, oh please, oh please, oh please.
Yeah. And he actually had to discard there because he's on a draw and hasn't actually played a creature spell to the board. But I don't know if he's got the second swamp for the Bloodline Keeper.
There's the Drown Yard.
There's a Drown Yard. He's got activation mana. And he's just going to run out a Armored Scab.
See, Captain, a cat, a swamp.
And another
Armored Scab.
Yeah. All right, so this is going to be a key turn. If Samir goes Swamp, Bloodline Keeper, then he's going to establish a very strong board presence, and he does exactly that. And the Make a Vampire dice is back. I think that Dylan has Griptide.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me as well.
Yeah, which is a fine card, except for that at this point in the game,
and maybe it buys him a turn.
It buys him a turn. It takes a card away from Samir, but I try to use Griptide more as a tempo play to get attacks in, but
sure.
You do what you got to do. And he is just going to
honestly,
cash in the Griptide.
But the thing is here, don't you want to, you're willing to give him a Vampire, wait, pass the turn over, Griptide at the end of the turn, untap, and then Drown Yard him?
Yes. That's a really good play.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, he ends up with one Vampire, but...
Yeah, so that's a play that I've made. I wasn't considering it with the Drown Yard because I think about it as a Thought Scour play, but you're absolutely correct. Because getting rid of, putting the Bloodline Keeper in the graveyard is just a huge weight that would be lifted off of Dylan's shoulders. But this is a brand new setting. He might not have seen that play before.
He's only 13. He might not have seen a lot of plays before.
Yeah. Okay, he's seen this play before. He does happen to have the dead weight here. I wonder if he would have attacked if he didn't. That's always the question. 6 drop's going to come down here.
6 drops are back from the brink.
Yeah. So he can start Drown Yarding himself.
It's interesting, they talk about a top-down flavor set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very flavorful when you have to take your 6 turn off to cast back from the brink and do nothing. Right?
Does it put you at the brink?
It puts you at the brink. Very flavorful. I think excellent home run there from a flavor perspective.
I love it. That's great. I think we're going to see a Markov Patrician and one
So
down.
Van Tuckian on Twitter tells me Dylan Winters is a Portland area player, and he's something of a celebrity in his own right for staring down top local players.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got the Conley stare.
Yeah.
13.
Welcome to round 5 of 8. Let's say this round begins at 3:10, so at 4 o'clock, we'll be calling time. Good luck.
We're going to see Scob come down here. 3/4 flyer. and he's going to play
Play a captain.
the Diagraph Captain as a token with his back from the brink. Samir is still holding one of his vampires. So they're going to have to get something to represent the captain. This is a decent board state. Dylan can actually put a reasonable amount of pressure. All right, there's a Diagraph Captain.
So, man.
I mean, he's got a 4-5. Okay, that changes things. So Deadweight came down on the token of the captain. He had a 2-5 and a 4-5 in the air. And we're going to see a chant of the skiff saying.
Look at Samir, man. Samir's like, yo. And he's just holding his token.
I would guarantee that at some point he forgot it. He's vowed to never do it again.
Yeah. Like, forgot it and maybe wasn't able to flip it.
Yeah. Lost a match or something. It happens.
Hysterical. I love it.
That's funny.
Whatever, man. Better to err on that side of caution.
Totally. I think a lot of players have
people
a little too much ego.
Yeah.
We're going to make a token of an armored scob, it looks like. So it gets to enter the battlefield ability.
Try to get some more tokens, potential tokens.
Yeah. There's your messenger.
Yeah.
I can't see what's above it. Look at that. It's just
He's like,
Can I? Give me the signal. Tell me I'm good.
Manor Skeleton. Now go. Now make your token.
You paid 2 mana to activate. There it is.
You must do that before
awesome.
6 o'clock. We will close registration for pickup events at 6 o'clock. Thank you.
Okay, so since he has a Markov patrician, Samir is able to make a token and then pay the black to transform the Bloodline Keeper into Lord of Lineage right now.
Right now.
Yes. So now all of his vampires are going to get +2/+2. He's going to have.
Do you know what's kind of
2
disgusting about Lord of
4/4
Lineage?
flyers. What?
It still makes tokens.
I know. They couldn't have just left it be a 5/5, right?
Yeah.
I just love that card.
Like,
He's going to swing with a 5/3 lifelink here, and then the 2 4/4 flyers as well. Samir's at a pretty comfortable 18 life total.
It's like, you're not far enough onto the brink for me.
Right.
I would like to a little further back on the brink.
Yeah. Dylan's got a board state set up that he can go very, very long game with this mill myself and activate back from the brink, but
not with
the problem
not with
is
three
that,
black cloud elementals on the table.
So the problem is that he needs to get himself into a situation where he's not taking this damage in the air, and it looks like it's going to be very tough.
I think he actually wins this game if he grip tie
if he would have got rid of.
I mean,
look at the board state now. If there's we don't know what Samir would have drawn, etc. But that one card is representing 4, 8, 12, 17, and +2 more on
both of those creatures.
So 19 power on the board right now is coming from the Lord of Lineage.
Yeah.
Wow. We're going to Altar's Reap our chanted guy here, which you can bring back.
Yep.
Doesn't have to pay the extra fee. It's like Dylan's drawn a flyer. But
that is a drown yard, right?
Yeah, that's a drown yard.
Okay.
He's just not in range. Okay. Okay. They're in turn 0 right now. Okay. So we've just been told by Rashad that they're in turn 0. They were on a time extension. We had to give them a little bit extra time to get over to the feature match, but. So this also is going to dictate how Samir wants to proceed. I mean, looks like his plan is pretty clear anyway, but he wants to get the victory here. Doesn't want to take any chances and just going to have to
Right, and
go
Dylan's
full
probably
on.
at the point right now where he's like, well, I just kind of don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Right, like a draw is probably is reasonably okay here.
Yeah.
It gives him a shot, puts him a little deeper in the money.
Yep. So, we got another token of the
So what do we have
Stitch
there? We
Drake.
have an Armored Scab, a Stitch Drake, and a Manor Skeleton.
Yep. So one of those has flying. But with blue-black up, the way is clear for Samir to just turn his team sideways and end this. Even if he only hits with the 3 vampire tokens, he can do it. And if he sends in the Lord of Lineage as well, the game should be over.
So Joel Barnes beat Tom Martell this round.
Okay.
We talked about Joel playing really in like his only like 4th or 5th tournament ever.
Wow, making a really nice run here.
Making a nice run. He lost to Tom Martell. Apparently had 3 Gnaw to the Bones that were all on his bottom 8 cards in games 2 and 3.
And he had milled himself down to 8.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean that's sort of the
presumption.
implication.
All right, so it looks like Samir has come to a similar conclusion.
He's like, all right, time's a wasting.
Yeah, like turn 1 or whatever, I'm getting him in there.
I have this die on top of my deck, and it's telling me to attack right now.
Yeah.
The reminder die.
That's what the die said?
It reminds him to do whatever he needs to do.
It's like a little magic 8-ball.
Yeah. Attack.
And
there.
Dylan's just going to have to extend the hand here.
Yeah.
There's nothing in blue and black at that cost that can get in the way of what's happening here.
What's the activation cost on the Drown Yard?
It's 1 blue-black. Yeah, so 3
Yeah,
mana,
it's-
and you have to tap it. So
Yeah,
it
but
ties
still,
up 4 of your mana.
But still, like, it's the difference between 2